Welcome back to From the Backburner podcast, where we play and discuss games from our backlogs. I am Adi, and
I am Striddle Cakes.
And that's, an intro.
Yeah.
So these past few weeks we played Prey's DLC, Mooncrash. Do you want to tell us what it is?
Yeah, so Prey Mooncrash is a paid add-on. It's basically like a whole different game with like the same mechanics as Prey. It is essentially a run-based thing where you play between 5 different characters, and your goal is to get all 5 characters to escape the moon. You're basically loading into a simulation, and it has roguelike elements, and yeah.
Do you also want to maybe describe Prey as well, just to give context?
Yeah, Prey's an immersive sim. It's one of my favorite games. It's basically you are on a space station, and it gives you, in the same immersive sim, like kind of arcane way, you have a lot of ways to customize your character and approach different situations. And the story is nothing to write home about, but I think the gameplay really pulls it forward, and for that reason I love it. So
I was thinking, what if we give our vote in the beginning and then we discuss it and give a second vote at the end if we change our minds?
Okay, that works for me.
All right, so I would give Prey Mooncrash a 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I would
give it
say
a 9.5.
All right, okay. For context, of course, you also said you spent half the time I did playing this.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I'm a god gamer. Let that be known.
That's a good.
Write that in stone.
Okay, that's a good start. But to be honest, I enjoyed it. Overall, I really enjoyed it. But it has basically the same problems I had with Prey, the original game. Though it
could you lay those out?
Well, basically, I find it. I don't know how to describe it, but like the opposite of immersive, but in a weird way. It's like I generally like fast-paced games, but I always found Prey too fast. There's just
too fast.
Yeah, too fast. There's just so much information, too much information. It feels like all at once, and that I find that like confusing, disorienting. Even though I spent much less time being disoriented in this than I did in the original Prey, this is much more. But I also have much more experience with the game now because I also speedrun Prey, so it all felt very familiar. But it's still the speed of the mechanics and everything, and the combat just feels very, I don't know, very strange. Thankfully, I had a grasp on the mechanics this time around, so I didn't have to learn everything, and that made it much more enjoyable because that was my initial problem with Prey. It was very confusing for the first few hours, which made it more scary and felt like there were higher stakes, but also it was very overwhelming. That's the word I used a lot for Prey, overwhelming all the time. And I think this DLC could have been overwhelming, but I kind of took it easy. So I was like, all right, I'll just explore, I'm cheesing this, just, whatever. We'll get into details later, but...
Cheese? Oh my gosh. Podcast over.
But you really like the original Prey, right?
I really like the original Prey. I really like all the Arcane games I've played. Both Dishonored's. I haven't played the Dishonored expansion yet. Deathloop. I really like Prey. Mooncrash. So,
which one's your favorite?
I would say their most complete game is probably Deathloop. Like that, they really just nailed the feel of it. In every way, but I think my favorite, it's between Prey and the original Dishonored. Yeah.
today I've been actually, like, for no reason been thinking about Dishonored, and I think I like that as like the most, for sure, of the ones I played. Of course, I really only played Dishonored and Prey, I guess, but I did watch a bunch of Deathloop, and it feels like halfway, I guess, from an outsider's perspective.
It's interesting because, like, Prey or Deathloop definitely takes a lot from this DLC.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Mooncrash. It's like that piecing together everything and figuring out how you can do everything in one run. Definitely takes a lot from this.
Was almost a test run or something.
Yeah, but I think it's a pretty successful test run.
Yeah.
The thing I really like about this DLC is that, like, on my playthrough and a half of Prey, you can only really engage with so many things. But this DLC really forces you to kind of engage with all the systems due to the different characters and everything. And so you're not really at risk of missing out on anything, which I think is pretty genius. And it also encourages that exploration around the moon base. And also there were more than a few oh shit moments, like that's how this works. Where I was like, oh, cool. Oh, okay, I know what to do now.
Were there? I didn't have many, actually.
Oh, really? Well, mine were, the big middle place where you could, like, power up everything and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of them. And
Fair.
also finding the note that, like, I could just zap open the Typhon gates. That was one of them, because one of my biggest hurdles, probably my longest playthrough, was when I was playing, I think, as the volunteer. And I was at one of the Typhon gates. And
you are Typhon.
Yeah. I was like, oh, there's a Typhon around. I'll track where it is, because you can press this button to track where it is, and it in big letters it's like, you're a Typhon, bitch. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
Yeah, and so because of that, I had to, like, explore and really, like, figure out the level design, which, like, you can do in Prey, but I feel like it's much easier to miss than here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, honestly, this DLC is kind of like the Dark Souls DLC. Like, it's everything that Prey kind of should have been for me, but it's a DLC. It's not the actual game, right? And obviously it doesn't have, like, the same meat to the story or whatever, and the same impact that it would be like the base game has, but it is better overall.
It is better, I think. And I think if me and you did multiple playthroughs of Prey, which we don't have time for, but, like, I think we would eventually arrive at that. Adi just made a little shrug, so maybe Adi has time.
Genshin Impact, but not Prey.
So, but if we did multiple, like, we might arrive at the same place. This DLC is, like, everything condensed.
Yeah.
So and it's a much smaller space, so you can interact with all of these systems, which is, like, pretty. I loved it for that reason.
Yeah, and it just feels like I don't know how much of it stands on its own. Of course, it doesn't have to, right? Because the target audience is people who have played Prey, right? But at the same time, it's like, I feel like it could have almost been, like, a game on its own.
Yeah, I definitely don't see why it had to be DLC, especially because
it could have been a second game easy.
Yeah. On PC, it literally it's like, which do you want to launch, Prey or Prey Mooncrash?
True.
I'm like, yeah, Prey Mooncrash. And
obviously
getting the Steam achievements. Clearly, not many people played this, so more people should play this, because you get, like, the thing that's like, unlock all 5 characters, and it's like 2% of players have this.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's like, so sad.
Oh wow! Like that's like
that's
literally the objective. Yeah, it's really not. I had trouble with one of them, but that was my fault, because I was, like, trying to do the wrong thing. But
I want to know about that. But let's stay clear of spoilers from at least the beginning, I guess.
Yeah.
We were describing this as a roguelike. I was curious about, like, talking about roguelikes in general. Like, do you you said you don't usually like them? I think we said during our intro.
No, I never usually finish them. I usually love them, but then I usually just drop off, like, for no real reason other than, like, okay, I've had my fill.
Yeah. I've always, like, that's about roguelikes, is they always feel like a pastime to me. Like, I barely ever take them seriously. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put on a podcast or music and just, play Dead Cells a little bit. And I had, like, Pixel Dungeon on my phone, that kind of stuff. Just very simple roguelikes. And I get easily disengaged, I guess, from these kind of games. And I struggle to take them seriously, right? Of course, I think Dead Cells is a good game, but like, it's just kind of a pastime. But I do think it counts as a roguelike, Prey Mooncrash. Like, it is more linear than I expected it to be, and it's like much shorter, but it has like random elements. Not as many as I expected, though.
Usually it's like the different areas have, everything is kind of set where it is, but once you get into like a lab area, sometimes things are a little configured a little differently, or I found it most in the crew annex. It was like slightly different every time I went in, to an extent. And then there's like sometimes where the environment changes, like there's like a secret path into the labs, or secret path, a maintenance path that's sometimes just blocked off.
Is it? I didn't notice. Oh.
Yeah. I think like every other run I would try to go that way, and then
maybe I don't know the secret passage you mean.
Yeah, it's like under the middle part of the main map where the moon shark is and stuff.
Oh, I see. Oh, No, I was thinking that's an environmental thing, like depending on what you do, because the stairs that go up to the office, Alex U office, sometimes they're broken.
Yeah, and there's a way up there, but...
No, I just climbed.
Yeah, it seemed random, because it
but
would be on my,
sometimes they're not broken. And I was thinking maybe it has to do with, like, maybe you escape with, like, the master driver, and maybe the master driver fucks up something. You think it's randomized, actually?
Yeah, I think it's random because
that makes sense.
On my first people sometimes. So it would be like the first person going on a run.
I didn't notice that was closed off. I thought the secret passage was always blocked. Because I used it while it was blocked by, like, using superpowers, whatever. So sometimes it's not locked. That's interesting. So, okay, I guess there's that amount of RNG, but, like, it's mostly just, like, resources that you find in boxes and whatever, and the enemies are, like, somewhat randomized, but they're always, like, at the same like level of difficulty. I get there's also like that element of, like, it gets progressively harder the more time passes. There's like 4 or 5 levels. I don't know.
There's 5 levels.
Yeah.
So how it works is it slowly ticks up. You can find things to make it tick down, usually by defeating powerful enemies, or sometimes they're just in the environment.
Or you craft them.
You can. I never found the crafting recipe for the delay.
Oh. It was one of the first crafting recipes I found.
I figured it was there, but I was like, I've picked up every crafting recipe I saw, and I never found that one. So
I have no idea what it was. I believe I found it on my first ever run. I believe I did.
Listen, that's part of the randomness of it. Like, it's like... I probably found things that you didn't.
I cheesed it, because if you have a crafting recipe, I think you can also buy it in the beginning of the run.
Yeah, you can.
So I just, like, bought 8 of them at the beginning of the run, and I was just chilling in level 1 corruption.
By the the timing element is cool, and it adds a little bit of tension at first. And I'm sure if I go back and play it, I could really challenge myself. But like, when I got it down to, like, I was like, all right, here's my plan. Here's how I get all 5 people off. I did it before I ran out of level 2. So I had all 5 people out before level 2 was done.
Honestly, you can just run past most things.
Yep, you can.
Which is appreciable, I guess. I didn't tend to, because most of my enemies were weak, because I was always in level 1 corruption, but... In any case.
So, oh my goodness.
I guess there's not... The point is, like, there's not a lot of randomness. It's more linear than I expected it to be, which is good for me, because that meant I didn't, like, lose focus. Because, like,
Yeah.
the first time I died, I had this sinking feeling of, like, I never want to play this game.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
the first, because I escaped, right? The first time ever with the volunteer, I escaped, right? And then I started the second run with 2 characters, I think, at that point. And I escaped with the first one easy. And then the second one, I died in like the most stupid way possible. And I was trying to do something specific to unlock like a story objective or something. And I was so close that I didn't do it. I was like, I don't want to do it again. And
that happened to me. That was like probably my biggest problem, was like I'd be in the middle of a story thing and it would be just kind of a cursed run. And it's like, oh, the place I have to be doesn't have power, so I have to go back to the middle, give it power, and then go back, and then or everything's on fire, or there's no oxygen and I have suit damage. And so
Well, I don't know. The only time I didn't die that many times, to be honest, and it really felt like it was dumb. Every time I died, I was like, I could have like paused the game, like opened the wheel and think about like what I was doing for 1 second, and I would have survived. And instead, I just threw away an hour of my time, and like that felt so stupid every time. I just felt like, oh my god, I don't want, just god damn it. And it was always like the character I needed to unlock the story with or whatever. So very frustrating, but in general, I think it was pretty linear, so I didn't lose focus. I was pretty focused on what I wanted to do every time, and it still counts as a roguelike, I guess.
I mean, it definitely, you have roguelike. You have that constant progression. Like every upgrade you unlock stays with you. Every recipe you find stays with you, unless you don't find the timing one, which I never did. And then
I knew it. I knew it. It was a weird thing that I did, that I just found it.
Yeah, I mean that's fine and fair play by you, but it was fun having the challenge.
Double your fucking time.
Yeah, it still took double the time I did. So maybe it didn't work out too well.
Well, I had no rush, so I was just collecting things.
And in between, like, if you escape with characters and do different objectives and kill more powerful enemies, you get these things called sim points. And in between your runs with characters, you can purchase stuff for them, whether that be like neuromods to upgrade their mental stuff, or like just health kits to bring with you, anything you find around the environment. My thing would usually be like, all right, here we go, pistol, ammo, and then like if someone was going to escape with an escape pod, the escape pod plan and everything. So
I don't know, I usually bought like a bunch of delay time loops just to be safe. And then but I had so many sim points usually, like I was just wasting them a little bit. It was just like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. So but some things like and neuromods, I would buy neuromods, a bunch of them. Yeah,
of course, because that makes your characters unstoppable. I don't know about you, but my security person and the volunteer were both just freaking
monsters
juggernauts by the end of it. Yeah.
I love this security guy.
Yeah, he could just run through everything.
So fast.
It's like, oh, I got hit, but I have 800 health, so it's okay.
Yeah, at one point the story objective like tells you go there, you have to go there fast. I'm like, oh, I know what to do. I popped 7 neuromods to go faster power, and just
Vroom. That was actually the guy I failed with. It was the cursed run, because you get to like, he gets poisoned and you have to go find an antidote and then do something else. And like, I get to where the poison thing is. There's a moonshark there. There's also a couple other enemies that have spawned. And
fucking moonsharks making you bleed. Oh my god.
Yes, that was part of the problem, because I was already radiated. I didn't have any anti-rads. I think
so you were
I think I was concussed. And then the moonshark saw me and I bled. And so when you bleed, you can't run, you can't jump, or you lose health. And so like I'm barely moving. And then
towards the antidote.
This was before I knew about the zap open the door thing, so I was like, well, I gotta kill everything to open the door. And then I failed. So I had to redo the whole thing.
I really, actually, one thing I liked about, I really like the Typhon doors in general as an idea, like, because in the beginning, I have to kill everyone. That's okay. And then you're like, you are Typhon. And then I'm like, because I was a Typhon basically after the first run, right? So I was like, how do I get past this? And like the volunteer has the power to go like below the earth.
I didn't have that yet when I first found it. So
and I saw it. I'm like, oh my god! So I was so happy I could do that. And I knew about the disruptor gun. The disruptor gun is like electric gun, which I always found so useless in the normal Prey. Right? I was like,
except against machine enemies, it was incredible.
It's strong against machine enemies, but it doesn't have like, I don't know. It takes so much to charge, right? So it's like such a clunky weapon, and you can just use a shotgun against machine enemies as well. So it's like it always felt a little bit too much, and I was like, I know what to use for this because I found a disruptor machine gun or whatever it's called, and I was like, oh my god, finally.
Yeah,
it's useful.
Once I found the note about the disruptor gun, I was like, oh shit! And
I didn't need no note.
Good for you. You're smarter than me, but you also had double the time.
All right. Just gonna flex it every time. Have a point. Okay. But yeah, it was great. And I kind of liked how everybody I had a different way to get past it with each different person. The real problem was like the engineer, not the engineer. There was someone who didn't have anything, so I had to have the disruptor gun. I think it was Alex Yu, and that was annoying every time. I'm like, oh my god, please, why can't you dig?
It's Riley Yu. It's their cousin. Okay.
Riley.
Yeah.
Right. Alex. Who's Alex?
Alex is the main.
No, it's the guy, right, Alex?
Yeah, he's the brother, yeah.
Which, I have a note. They changed the voice actor.
Right? I was making sure. I thought I went crazy for that. I
didn't even check. I know.
Yeah.
He felt so wrong.
As soon as I heard him, I was like, huh? That's
not you.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's been long enough that I don't remember. So...
No, I was sure, because basically if you speedrun Prey, you know that every fucking reset is just Alex Yu going, hey Morgan, you're wasting daylights. I'm like, fuck you.
So did you look it up?
No, I'm just 100% sure that it's a different voice actor. It's just kind of imitating the same way he speaks. But the thing is, I also loved Alex's voice act, the original one. So I was really sad to hear that it wasn't there.
Yeah. So, I see. Because it's in the first one, it's the guy, it's Benedict Wong from Doctor Strange.
Oh.
So I guess for the DLC, they were like, we can't afford you. So
fair
it's
enough.
This guy, David Chin, I'm not familiar with him, but apparently he's also involved with Marvel. He's in the What If series, so...
I mean, he tried, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was still disappointed. I'm looking to my notes, which I only took for like the first hour of gameplay, and then I stopped. And there was like... in all caps about the volunteer like stabbing himself in the eyes that you're pressing the button. There's this animation of like the neuromod machine, right? The first time you find the neuromod, there's the machine that you're supposed to, I guess, point at your eye and then press it and the needle would come out. And instead, he had the needle already out and just fucking put it in his eye. And I thought that was a psycho move and I was shocked.
That's how it works. You know?
That was, oh my God.
Ugh, I hate it. I hate it though.
That's so bad. In any case, the moon shark is a new enemy for this, right?
The moon shark and the tentacle nests, I believe, are new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I found the tentacle nests pretty annoying until I learned how to deal with them. But The Moonshark was a cool addition for sure.
But I hate the bleeding. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
The hardest thing, honestly, the Moonsharks were the most. I think 2 times they killed me.
Yeah.
Just cause like I don't know. One time I forgot they existed and it just one shot at me by coming out of the dirt or whatever, and another time I didn't have any coagulating gel, whatever it's called, and I
never had it when I needed it.
Yeah,
I always had it when I had like
I
a
always had
bone.
like 5 bottles of anti-rad.
Yeah, unless you had radiation poisoning, then you didn't have them.
Of course, yeah. Unless you have to go through like the area with radiation. In that case, no anti-rad anywhere. But yeah, the Moonsharks. And I bled to death, basically. At one point I was going at a snail's pace towards a machine to make coagulation gel, and I just jumped a little bit too high, and I just died. And it was the saddest fucking thing ever. But I guess that's enough about, I mean, it's not enough, but for now about the gameplay. But what about the plot?
I don't really care about the plot because it honestly, like, I do kind of like how it ended because it was like, it's very cliche, but
did you stay after the credits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time they cut away from the simulation, I was like, all right,
I don't care.
My nameless character is a corporate slave and is probably not gonna get off this alive. And hey, what do you know? So, I could have done without that. I mean, I appreciated the context of like kind of what you're doing. And to be honest, I did like the last section before you take off because I feel like I got through that by learning from the other characters of like what to do. You know, like, okay, well, I know the oxygen's running out. So if I go get the helmet, then I'll be fine. And then I can go up here, which I did before, and then I can plot a trajectory and figure things out from there. I like that aspect of it. Otherwise, I wish it wasn't there. I wish it was just like, hey, you're in the simulation. Just pick the character and go. You know? That
would have worked. Like it could have been like Assassin's Creed 4, which nobody will understand this reference because nobody has played all the Assassin's Creed 1 to 4
Black Flag's a good one though.
But like it goes from like Desmond is the person going to the simulation to like you are the person in the simulation. Just go in your DNA.
The weird first person segments.
Yeah, and it could have been exactly like that. You are in the simulation, enjoy, like you are the slave. I'm alright. I'm alright being the slave. It's okay. But at the same time, like it wasn't bad. I didn't really. I like the tattoos on his arm, so that's I guess that's enough for me to like the character. It's not true, but I guess the thing about the simulation part was like this plot twist in the original Prey that I didn't really understand, and it felt a lot like it was all a dream. And I did not get it at all.
Maybe
in the original Prey.
I think you got a different ending than
I got all of them.
Okay.
I saw them all, and that one I didn't really get at all.
Okay.
I mean, I get it, but I don't like it. Let's say like that. So I understand. Like, I guess now it feels a little bit more all right. I guess we're going with this simulation thing, huh? That's okay. But I didn't care too much. I wish I was just actually trying to survive with these people. Also, I did not understand what information we were trying to get or whatever. Like, what went on. I mean, didn't really get it.
To me, it didn't matter. I think it was just put in there like maybe someone high up was like, we need to have a connecting tissue, but really you didn't. Like, in Dead Cells, for instance, I know it's a totally different game, but you just start and then you go. And that's kind of all I needed to get going. I like the idea of adding the simulation because then you could be like, well, the simulation's not 100% accurate. So there's going to be things wrong with it. Like, say,
I was slightly hoping that he would crash on the moon and then he would have to escape with one of the four.
Me too.
You know, I was like, that would have been like a great, like, everything. But that would have been always, of course, like bigger than, I guess, a DLC or whatever. But I was waiting for that moment in which like you crash and then you're like, okay, now escape. And it's like level 5 corruption and it's hard to escape and, to choose the right one or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you play through all of MGS5. I'm sorry to bring it up, but the subsistence missions where you have to, you start with nothing. Yeah. And then you have to figure, I would have loved that. I would have loved that. Because there were some rounds where I tried to do that and I was like, I'm going to start with nothing and see where I get. So I would have loved if that was like the nice little cap on that. Like you land and it's like, all
also
right,
because it kind of implies it happened, right? Because you crash, I guess spoilers, but you crash in the moon.
Rocket.
Yeah, you crash by the shuttle. Yeah. I think that's like the shuttle they used to escape with one of the people, I think, at least. And then after the credits, you are in water. So I assume you're on Earth, right? Yeah. And there's also a mimic, whatever, who cares? But so that implies that's what happened. I wonder if that was like the original idea and then they just didn't go for it.
Maybe. I mean,
it kind of felt that way.
It's possible it was in there. In the ideas, but like one sad thing about Prey is I know it didn't sell too well. I definitely know based on Steam achievements that this DLC did not sell well.
Fair enough,
yeah, because it's all the achievements are included in like the regular achievements on Steam. So like that 2% means like 2% of the whole owning people of Prey have played this. Which sucks.
Fair enough. It took me like a year to do it. So, and honestly, I wouldn't have if it wasn't for the podcast, to be honest. So
yeah, I mean, and I've been wanting to play this for a long time, and then this kind of pushed me forward to do it. I'm really glad it did.
Yeah, so me too. I'm glad I played it.
Yeah.
I don't know, something funny that you have from your runs. I was wondering if you saw coming the janitor lady was actually like a secret spy kind of plot twist.
No, because I hadn't met her yet. That's how you unlock her.
Yes.
And so
Yes, but I was like, okay, so we have a useless character, right? But also, nobody here knows how to do hacking, and I need to hack things. So who's gonna do the hacking? So it's either the person outside the simulation, or it's the janitor lady. So it had to be her. So I was like, it is her.
I didn't come to that conclusion because I also forgot. Like I used the janitor like once, or not the janitor, the lady with repair. I think, she's kind of a custodian, right?
The engineer?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I used her like one time and then totally forgot someone had repair. I was like, why doesn't this last lady have repair? I was like,
I was waiting for this.
Yeah, so if I had like paid a little more attention there, I probably would have put that together. But I was like, she has hacking but no repair. So
why can't she do everything?
Yeah, right.
No, I really like that. Actually, the mimic portal like requires two characters to act on it.
That was another one of the oh shit moments. It's like, oh, okay, once I have repair and hack, then this kind of determines the order I can go in. So,
So what's the order that you unlock the character, if you remember? Because I'm not really sure.
I mean, it was definitely volunteer, and then I think it was Riley. And then I think I unlocked Riley and the engineer at the same time. And then I found VJ's body. And then Claire took me the longest. Because, like, that was the one I wasn't paying attention to. Because I was like, oh, I just need to find her body. And I should have just been looking at the objectives. So I spent a long time in the Moonworks trying to get into her room. Trying to figure out a way in there.
Fair enough.
But I never could. So
I didn't connect that's where she was for some reason. Like, I didn't think about it. But I did, like, keep going to that door. I'm like, oh, I can't go in here.
Oh, well, I kept tracking her body.
I was
see. I was like, oh, she's in there. There's got to be a way in there. And then I was just an idiot not looking at the objectives right. So
fair enough. I think the person I kind of stumbled on was the security officer.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're meant to just kind of stumble on him because he's just a body, right?
Yeah. So I'm glad. But the first person I unlocked was the engineer, which I used quite a bit, actually, and then Riley as well.
Yeah, because there was a very long run with the volunteer, probably where the volunteer became as overpowered as he did, where I just found so many neuromods and just like found everything on the freaking map. And that's when I unlocked those two characters. But
yeah, spent like 2 hours in crew annex just collecting everything.
Just exploring everything. Yeah. That was awesome. And then once I got the psychoscope, I was like, yes. Which is what you need to
what I would call the cursed run. My cursed run was, okay, I get to the story objective. So, as I said, my corruption level is always like 1, right? Because I'm just cheesing this. And so the story objective for Riley is to scan, get a specific corpse to become a phantom. And you need Phantom Genesis 2, which needs you to have scanned, I think, a Weaver of a certain level. And I just did not know what I needed to scan because it says, like, you haven't scanned enough things. And scan question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm like, fuck. So I had this 2 hours of me just going around everywhere, waiting for corruption to go up so I could like scan everything on the fucking moon. And that was 2 hours of me doing this, okay? And then I find the Weaver, I scan it, I get the Phantom Genesis, awesome. I go find the corpse. I make the Phantom, and the Phantom kills him.
Yeah, I definitely had that the first time. I was like, I thought you were supposed to be on my side.
And I think there was a note that says that the Phantom is like attacks or whatever. So I immediately also knew, and I felt so dumb because I was like, God damn it. Because I just like kind of didn't notice that it was attacking me, right? I was just so used to Phantoms helping me. And I was like, so I just felt like 2 hours were for nothing. It wasn't true, of course, because I didn't have to rescan anything. But god damn it.
Yeah. I mean, that happened a couple times with story stuff where I would just die toward the end. I think that was my main annoyance is like these story objectives, which I actually found pretty cool most of the time, but they like send you all over the map and it doesn't matter what run you're on. Like sometimes you go somewhere and you're like, oh, this doesn't have power. So I have to go back, make sure it has power, and then I can go up. So I think that was one problem I had. And so when you died, you were like, I think the thing I talked about earlier where the security guy died, like in the middle, basically at the end of that objective run, I was like, that's when I closed the game. I was like, that was bullshit. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I eventually went back and did it pretty quick, but like that never felt good. Like dying in the middle of an objective and then having to redo the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like, I don't know, objectives that really sent you like all the way to another place. Just like, I don't want to walk over there. There's not even any enemies because I killed everyone. Like I just have to run. But I really liked, I think that sometimes I wish it was a little bit bigger, the map, but at the same time, I think it was the right size. Mm-hmm. So it was like, because I really didn't know the layout by the end of it. I literally never learned the layout of the original Prey. I could not learn any, like, I wouldn't even tell you, like, if I learned one map, the Arboretum, nothing. I know nothing about the original Prey. But I feel like I know every centimeter of this fucking map. I know where everything is. And where to go to get, like, the cool stuff that I don't use and I don't need. But I will go get it and recycle it. But, so, it really felt like I was complaining about the speed of Prey, but for this DLC, it really felt like, well, it must have been also like my speedrunning part of Prey, but like it just felt nice to just do everything, especially with the security officer who was just zooming around the map and I was just shooting enemies in the face with the shotgun. I was just like having a lot of fun and just being so fast. I was like, okay, I'm running as well with the propulsion, whatever it's called.
Attack system, yeah.
Yeah, that immediately I was like, I need to understand how the dash works because it happened once. I was like, okay. And so I was just dashing through.
I was dashing everywhere on that. I was so proficient.
Yeah, exactly. It just felt so nice.
God, I wish I had recorded my 5-person run because I felt just so in the zone with that. I would be like just dashing forward, jumping down, charging the stun gun, zapping the door open, flying through.
Exactly.
It felt so good to nail down.
While reloading.
It felt so good. Okay, so for your 5-person run, how did you do it? Do you have the way you have memorized or?
Well, I had to finish 2 story objectives. So it was one, of course, was the volunteer, which I did last. Because I needed to unlock the mimic portal, which I didn't use actually at the end. I don't know how everybody escaped. I don't remember.
I think you had to.
No, because the story objective for the volunteer makes you escape through an escape pod.
But you have to. Someone has to go through the mimic portal.
Yeah, I am a little no, because I did. I think it unlocks another escape pod if you have the story objective. Because I escaped with.
So you did it on that last one.
Yeah, it was the last thing. So the last thing ever that I did was finish the story objective for the volunteer, basically. That was the end of my run, my 5 people run. So 2 people, I guess, escaped with the escape pod, the janitor first, I believe, and then... No, because I needed to repair the mimic portal. Because I repaired the mimic portal anyway, obviously, because I thought I had to use it. So yeah, basically, I had to do the janitor's, the spy, story objective and the volunteer. And that was,
okay, so you did that all on one run.
Yeah. And it was pretty fun as well, because like the volunteer makes the corruption get to level 5, like all at once. And it's like, oh my God. And also like the spy also like, as people like trying to kill her, so there's like a bunch of robots trying to kill you.
Oh yeah, the robot story. Yeah, I was.
So overall, my 5 people run was pretty intense. I'd say, pretty fun. But I was unstoppable by that point. Just had so much shit. Loved the little robots, the robot that let you give things to the other characters. Loved it. Great.
Oh, I never used it for that. I literally never used it for that.
What did you use it for?
The companion bot, right?
Yeah.
I summoned it and was like, this is worthless.
Okay.
Never used it. I was like, this is the most worthless thing on the map.
Well, I always had a full inventory because I was collecting everything like a madman, of course. And if you leave stuff in the robot, you can get it with the other characters in the next runs.
I had no idea because I literally just wrote it off immediately. I was like, this
Incredible.
thing sucks, doesn't attack.
It's
worth my
fun
time.
because it kind of feels like me making the game easier on myself made me think too much about it. Because I did feel like it was easy, right?
I think at first it was hard, and then I think you can make it harder for yourself.
You definitely can make it hard for yourself, but I feel like I made it, like even without the delay loop, I feel like I would have been fine for the most part.
Yeah, because I found one like naturally on my 5-person run, and like I said before, I was out before corruption level 3 even hit, so...
I wasted so much time just going around, exploring, finding all the corpses.
Well,
and stuff.
when I had my run ready and written down, I was like, all right, I know my objective. Boom, 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 boom. So
you didn't know the bot could store things. I would use it for like the panel, like what's it called, the
control panels or whatever.
Yeah. Always for that. It was very useful, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think I had a full inventory like twice, like in the
okay.
Yeah, I was always recycling stuff. I would just find stuff, and everyone started with a pistol. And honestly, if you're good with the pistol, that's all. Yeah,
you don't need anything else. Truly, the pistol is. I started to differentiate just for the sake of it. I was like, he looks like he would be more like he would use a shotgun, so I use a shotgun with the security guy.
Oh yeah, the security guy starts with the shotgun, so he was just like, all right, you get 800 shotgun shells.
Exactly.
Let's go.
But the pistol just wins overall. Yeah. Very strong.
Oh, yeah. Sneak attack. Feels good.
Great stuff, yeah. And so what about yours, besides being like super fast?
Oh, let me tell you. Okay,
yes.
So started with the spy, went in, hacked, opened the mimic portal. Well, hacked, did the first thing, and then escaped with an escape pod. Then I had the engineer go and repair the mimic portal, escape through there. Okay. And then the volunteer went directly to the shuttle. Morgan uploaded her consciousness. And then because my security guy was just a fucking tank by the end, I had him do the mash driver one because that's probably the most annoying one to get. You have to, for this one, you have to load like 5 food items, 5 drinks, and an anti-rad, and then go start something and make it back in time. It's really not that hard, but like, you have to plan for it because the first time I tried to do it, I was like, God, there's no fucking food here.
Correct.
Where's all the food? So.
And like, I think there's like numbered 5, like water or whatever liquid drinks in the Moonworks. I think there's like 5.
I think it's random now.
I believe there's 5 because there's definitely 4 in like the room near the recycler, which has one of those drinks things, and there's like 1, maybe 2 in like a desk in one of the open spaces, and that's all. There are none other, and so many times I would go there and then I had like, I don't know, too many food items, so I would eat because I would like be in danger. I would eat, and instead of eating like my billion food items, my character would drink one of the drinks. I'm like, fuck you, how dare you.
If you have that in mind, you have to go through the inventory. You have to.
You're right, but I did do it. I did fuck it up a couple times, and it was very frustrating. And I would just had to go to crew annex to get some fucking water. Annoying, but
I mean that was definitely the most annoying one, but that felt good to pull off. Luckily I didn't have to do it twice because I told you I forgot.
Did you repair the elevator to get to the mass driver?
No. Why would I do that?
Because that's fun, because that's organized, because
but my engineer was not going to Moonworks at all.
Fair enough. I don't know why mine did. Maybe just to repair the elevator, because I thought that was a cool thing to do.
Oh, I much prefer like that Far Cry platforming up the elevator.
I mean, it is fun. It is probably more fun, but I was just like, let's do things neatly, alright? I'll go there, drop off a couple food items if I have them, an anti-rad, repair it, and then go do my stuff.
Well, you were cheesing it the whole time anyway. I was on a time limit.
True.
I was like, I don't want this to get too hard. I
cannot argue with that.
It did have this thing that this is one complaint I have, because occasionally you'd start and you'd have a note and it's like
the cons. Go.
Yeah, this is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what happens to this run. And I kind of wish like I had that every time a run started, because I felt frequently I would go somewhere and be like, all right, this place doesn't have power. How was I supposed to fucking know that unless I came here? In the end of the day, it was only like about a 30-second minute detour, but like it was the fact that you get there and you're just like, God damn it.
I just got through this loading screen, guys.
Yeah.
I want to go back into the loading screen.
I do not want to go figure this out. So, and the loading screens are bad, but like that was one thing.
They're long.
And then, they're long?
Yeah, for me, they're kind of long. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Whatever.
But
that's probably why I spent double the amount of hours than you, for
honestly,
sure.
Probably my main con, I guess.
Fair enough.
And let's be honest, the timer in the game is in-game time, so I doubt it counted the loading screens.
Well, in any case, my main con would be, I guess, the plot.
Yeah.
I guess the ending. Arcane was...
Do you ever come to a roguelike for a plot?
Not roguelike necessarily, but this one maybe. This one could have been. I mean, not even plot, because like I guess the main plot was disappointing, like the outside the simulation. Because inside I had no real problems. It was nice. It felt like kind of personal, for getting to know these characters a little bit. And like trying to make them escape, and their little story objectives were nice. Really, the outside of the simulation, I think maybe I didn't think of it, but now that you've said it, I'm like, yeah, maybe it would have been better off. It just didn't exist, or if you had to like actually go to the moon and go from scratch.
Yeah, and maybe that's something. Maybe that's something they had to cut out. I have no idea. That would have been cool. Mm-hmm. And like I said, like.
It seems likely.
I think the problem is that like you had to engage with it. It would like take you out of the simulation and it's been like you have a call coming. And it's like, okay. And you have to go do this stupid task real quick. And it's just like, I just want to get back and play the game. So
and then there's like 10 seconds, 15 seconds after the call is over, and you're just waiting for the game to tell you, yes, you can go back to the simulation.
Simulation ready. It's like, thank God, please.
Let me play video games.
So I do think that's my issue. I want to talk a little bit, because Arcane is definitely not good at ending stuff. But the reason I love these games so much is like the systems around them are just so incredible. Like you can really... They really allow the player such a huge amount of freedom. And that's true here too, but like what they do is they kind of constrain it a little bit. It's like you have freedom within this scope. Like this is the build we made for you. You can build it out how you want, but you have to stick to this build per character. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of cool. And that really... The reason I like this so much is because it forced me to engage with stuff that I didn't have the opportunity to engage with. And praise something I want to replay, but like, I don't know, you've seen my backlog. It's fucking nuts. So,
But it made me engage with things I never would, but it could not, and it did not make me engage with like, get big to move big objects and throw them at enemies.
Oh, no,
I did not do that. I'm sorry,
a stupid
Prey.
power. It's a stupid power.
It should not be a thing.
I always forget I have it. It was good in the original game, because like sometimes you could get into stuff using that power.
But you always had a recycler charge. Come on.
True. But do I ever use it to attack enemies? No. Fucking once. I think I did it on accident one time this time. I had like something in my hand. I was like, I gotta get rid of this. And it hit the enemy, and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there was like one big like thing in front of one door in this game. Like I can only remember one thing. And you could get up, and you can get in from above. So it's completely useless. You can get in with zero powers, just jumping.
One thing I did have an annoyance with is, the broken doors. This is just one moment.
You should have been able to fucking break it down.
Oh, you should be able to. But I repaired one, and the place had no power, and it just fixed itself, and it was like, unpowered door, can't open. I'm like, what the fuck? Why could I repair this and it just doesn't open?
Genius. But it also says, like, you can with the strong power, you can force unpowered doors open. But I'm like, okay, so I never did it. I never done it. But, okay, you can force the big unpowered doors open, but you can't open the fucking small ones. Not even the broken ones. You can't just fucking kick that one, like, piece of wood that is blocking you from getting inside. I'm livid.
Why would you be able to? That's crazy.
I'm just like, this is useless.
Yeah, it wouldn't be useless if you could, transform into a cup and go right through it, which you can.
Only with Riley, though.
Yeah, only with Riley.
That was my main gameplay mechanic in the original Prey, and I really missed it in this.
Yeah. I mean, I used it a couple times, but but yeah. Otherwise,
honestly, at that point, it felt like slow. I was like, I don't have time to fucking transform into a cup. Where's the small object in my vicinity?
Do I need the thing in this room?
No. What is it? An elite shotgun? Who cares? Bye.
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Well, wow, it's got a cool little thing on the side that looks cool, but otherwise...
what is that? Delay loop blueprint? Who cares? That's you.
Hey, I looked for it. I grabbed every blueprint I could find, but I never found that one. A lot of duplicate blueprints. One thing I do kind of wish it had, because I was kind of disappointed when it ended, because I was like, like most roguelites, not that I finished many of them, but from what I know, most roguelites, you finish them and then there's more to play. I kind of wish this had like a challenge mode or something that would force you to maybe not cheese it by making a bunch of delay time loops.
Maybe.
And really engage with the systems in that way. But like, maybe shuffle up the map a little bit more, and it's like, all right, figure this out. I do wish it had that.
Everything is powered down. Fuck you.
No. No, I didn't say that. Arcane, if you're listening, please don't do that. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it could have, like, it shouldn't be too hard to do a challenge mode out of this. Just make it harder. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily play it, but I think I'm done.
I do think I'm done now, but if there was something, I think I would engage with it more. But because there's not something, I'm not going to probably ever play this again. So
likely. I mean, I feel like, well, I rarely replay games, so it's very unlikely I would replay Prey. But I'm kind of curious to replay like the original game, just to see if I can apply like the knowledge I now have.
I think you could. And I've been interested in it too, because I saw one of the achievements was like play with all human powers and then immediately play one with all Typhon powers. And I was like, that'd be pretty sweet.
That's fun. Yeah. But also, I'd much rather like maybe play Deathloop. I mean, Deathloop
is great. And like I said, the one thing, Deathloop borrows a lot from this, in that you're like piecing together a puzzle and it's like, how do I tackle this? My one problem with Deathloop is I kind of wish that I had turned off like the objective markers, because at the end of it, you've solved everything. And I was like super excited. I was like, all right, here's what I do here to assassinate all these people. And then it just led me to all those people. It was like, here's what you do. And I was like, fuck.
That's always been a problem with the Arcane games. And
you can turn those off. That's something I like, is that you can turn those off, and I would have rather played Deathloop doing that. Maybe in a couple of years, I'll be able to replay it and forget it.
Maybe I'll do it if I play it.
Yeah, I would. I would highly recommend it, because it's super good.
Because I had the same problem with Dishonored and Prey. I would just follow the markers everywhere.
I was excited to, in that Outer Wilds style, it's like, oh, I pieced this together. I figured this out. Like, I know how to do this. And I think I had more of those moments with this DLC than I did with, say, Deathloop.
Also because the markers are kind of confusing in this, I find.
Yeah, but like for the 5-person run, I didn't have markers.
Yeah,
like,
no need. I knew everything.
Like, here's the efficient way to do it. And like, I could have done that in Deathloop, but I just didn't know I could turn off the markers until after the fact. And I was like, oh, that would have been nice.
I think you can turn them off in Dishonored as well.
I'm pretty sure you can turn them off in all their games. But
I do think Dishonored might be a little bit hard without them.
Yeah. I think Dishonored would, but Deathloop really lends itself to that. Like, really, really, really lends itself to that. So...
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so that's why I was so excited about Deathloop at first, because it was giving me that Outer Wilds feeling. I was like, oh, I'm piecing it together, blah, blah, blah. And then when I pieced it together, it just held me by the hand. And I was like, just trust me. Just trust me. I got it. So
I got it. I played Outer Wilds. Come on.
Yeah, please. Please. This isn't my first rodeo.
I know the gravity center is in between the planets, okay? Shut up.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Okay.
But
okay.
So, do you have much more to contribute about Prey Mooncrash?
Okay. Not passive aggressive. No.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Do you have anything else to add? I didn't mean it in that way.
I'm thinking. I think I had a lot of fun. It really felt like I liked the sense of competence it gave you at the end, right? Mm-hmm. I know everything, as you said. I have my plan. I'm gonna execute it. Everything works out great. I'm fast. I'm fast as fuck, boy. And just aiming so far away at those Typhon doors,
just floating through the air,
perfectly timed so they open for me to go in.
Moonshark right behind me. I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
And honestly, that's a great feeling to give a player in a video game, right? Competence, like you get better at it, you know what you're doing, and that's not something necessarily you find in all video games. I think I don't know what my Prey, like my vote for Prey, the original one was or is. I don't. It's been too long. I didn't review it or whatever. But I think this is better, right? Yeah. I would give it it's not necessarily for me because it is a roguelike. I'm more interested in story and stuff. But I would say 8.5 is more.
Ooh, it went up.
It's more valid.
It went up.
Yeah. I do not think it deserves a 9.5, but that's
it's still a 9.5 for me because I really enjoyed it. It was a really condensed, solid
9.5 is eco level, though.
Huh?
9.5 is eco level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're very different games, but I think with eco and with this, I walked away from the game, which is something that doesn't happen often, and I was like, I can't wait to get back and figure that thing out. Mm-hmm. At this point in my life, I used to be that way with all kinds of games, but at this point in my life, usually if I walk away from a game and I'm not thinking about it, chances are I'm not finishing it. Mm-hmm. So
I'm never opening it again.
Yeah, and it's not anything against the game; it's just how I work. But
it didn't overstay its welcome, right? As well.
No,
sorry.
No, it did not. No, go ahead.
Yeah, that was all. Like sometimes they drag a little bit. I think this was like the nice length. It was condensed. Nice. It was complete.
Yeah, I really liked it because it was condensed. It felt complete. It really trusted the player, and it had you. Arcane are these just like genius level designers, and sometimes you miss half that shit, and this really made you like kind of engage with all of it.
I guess a last thing I would say is at one point I was in that mood of like I'm playing a roguelite or like a pastime, so I did actually put on like my own music or whatever. I didn't put on too many podcasts or stuff because I don't want to take from it, but I did kind of get quote unquote like kind of bored of just playing without thinking about anything or like I need a little bit more cognitive engagement besides the survival aspect. So I did put up a little bit of that, which I tend not to do with other types of games, right? So it is definitely that type of game. So definitely not necessarily one of my favorite types, right? But still good.
Yeah, I mean, it hit the right notes for me because it is one of my favorite types of games from one of my favorite developers and just felt great. So it was... And
we do appreciate the anti-capitalism as well.
Yes. Yeah, I do.
By we, I do mean I.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, I think that's it for Prey Mooncrash. Next up, do you want to introduce our next game if we are playing it?
I have forgotten the name already. So.
Okay. Our next game, I believe, is Sable. And then we've also had talks of doing longer games on the side, so maybe we'll announce that next time and figure out what we're playing. So I think we both have an idea of what it is. I'm staring at the icon right now, but
So Sable is like a short little. I mean, not too short, but
yeah, it's like 7.5 hours. It came out, I want to say last year,
which is longer than I expected, to be honest. I thought it was like 4 hours.
It seems to be like a Breath of the Wild exploration focused thing with like a nice art style. Not nearly as intricate as Breath of the Wild, but has some elements from it. So
we'll see.
I think that's it for us. Where can people find you on the old internet?
Well, you can find me on twitch.tv/CriticOwl, where all my links, even though I'm not currently streaming, and on Twitter. I think that's the best way, which is also linked on my Twitch. So just go to the Twitch.
You can find me at twitch.tv/striddlecakes, where I stream all the time, and also on Twitter at striddlecakes, I think. Right? Or no, it's at Striddles. Oh no, I changed it to Striddles.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's Striddles now. Striddles. Okay.
So, till next time?
Till next time, we'll be talking about Sable.
Okay, it's too many times already. Bye.
Sable. Bye. Bye.